Hello, it's Fungal back for week 4 of the PDL. We're up against Pancake Boy here, and this is going to be my team review prior to the battle. As you can see, my team versus Pancake Boy's team right here. Earthworm, which I don't expect really to come to me. It's not good versus anything here in particular. Slowking can be an issue because it can wall Heatran, it can deal with some of Rotomo's attacks, it can deal with Quavel. It could take some hits from maybe Sylveon or Jagalchi. Slowking I expect to come. Diantha 2 is a good check to this Galarian Moltres that I have. It also could just live a lot of hits neutrally from a lot of these spawns right here. Hit quits a strong either physical or special side. I also expect from him this Gyarados, it's his best win con versus me. With Terra Dragon it can actually turn the tables and wall my Rotomo. And with Terra Flying it actually does a lot of damage to me. Gengar can press buttons versus me, as long as it gets predicts right if it's choiced, and it's Focus Blast versus Cyclozar or Heatran, then it's also very good into me. Meowscarada has very free Flare Trick, U-turns, knockoffs. Knockoff will do a lot of damage to my team. I expect that to be clicked a lot here, especially since I'm not going to break any great checks like defensive Rotomo. It's going to be able to knock pretty freely. Bloodtail could come, I don't really see it though. It loses to a lot of these mons 1v1. Like Rotomo, it doesn't wall its electric type because it gets hit by Leaf Storm. It only really beats Heatran and Cyclozar. Heavy Slam, it could beat Sylveon. Tikotod could also come, it's pretty decent versus me, and it's a good check for Galarian Articuno. And Bramble also is only spinner, so I think that might come versus me to get rid of rocks. It's also semi-decent check to Rotomo. I'll go over to my team over here. First mon I have here is Sylveon. Sylveon with Hyper Voice, Wish, Protect, Calm Mind is a good win con versus this team. Hyper Voice is relatively free. It's a good knockoff switch in. With this investment, it could always live a +1 Terra Blast, Terra Flying from Gyarados after taking one layer of Spike or Stealth Rocks. Which means that I should always be able to revenge Gyarados as long as I get a little bit of damage off on it. And Hyperforce is still relatively free. If Moltres can't beat me 1v1 with free Calm Minds. Gengar has no good recovery. That will take a chunk. It's only the Tikotod which safely switches into this mon consistently. As next up I have Heatran. Heatran is good switch into this Tinkaton. It beats this Bramblegast. I am actually running Flame Body, not Blast Fire, so I don't wall this Moltres, but I could still beat it down with Power Gem I have here. I'm running a defensive set with Lava Plume, so that way if this Meowscarada isn't protective pads, it can get burns off. If this Gyarados goes for Waterfall versus me, I can also get a burn versus that, or if it tries to switch in or set up on me, Lava Plume first burn. I have Rocks and Protect just to scout versus potentially banned Meow going for a low kick. And I also have Stealth Rocks because their team is pretty weak to Stealth Rocks. Bramlegast is only a spinner and it loses Heatran. And I do want Meowscarada, I want Gengar taking that chip. And if this Gyarados is like a Lum for instance, I want it to also be punished for not wearing boots. Next I have Cyclozar with Assault Vest. It is my best check to potentially spec Gengar since it can live a Focus Blast from that. It can also do significant damage with Knockoff. Rapid Spin helps me prevent rocks and spikes from rolling up on my side. Also Thunderbolt so that I can hit this Moltres and this looking for some okay damage and threaten them. Basically keep them from trying to sit on me forever. Draco Meteor so that if this is a dragon type Terra on Gyarados, that I can actually get rid of it. This Thunderbolt also helps me versus non-Terra Gyarados. The opposite Terra the Diantha into a water type for instance, or a fighting type. Next I have Landorus. Landorus is very good here. He has very few switch-ins because Moltres dies to Rock Slide. Gyarados takes a ton from Rock Slide too, even if it's Intimidating instead of Foxy. And Earth Power other than those two is relatively free. Bramblegast will get 2 KO'd, Meowscarada will get 2 KO'd, and rest of them here pretty much die except Earthworm, which I can hit up with Focus Blast, which I did bring. I don't feel like I need Substitute or anything. It could be okay here, but I think just in case Earthworm comes, I want to be able to check it. Next, Galarian Articuno. It's one of my best win cons in this battle, because if this diantha doesn't tear, or if this Tinkaton is removed, then he has basically no checks for this. Therablast Steel will destroy this diantha unless it turns into a water fighting type. And this Tinkaton also needs to be on core to actually force me into doing anything. So or else I do beat it 1v1, even if its strongest move versus me is Brick Break, some Terra Steel. So I'm going with Carmine, stored power with all this defense investment. I can live some hits from Gyarados or Mioscrota. I can set up, and then I can sweep with this, or get some Carmines in. Stored power will do a bunch to Gyarados. Will be able to 1v1 Tinkaton later on in the battle if they don't do enough damage to me. If they don't crit me a few times with Brick Break. I'm bringing leftovers because I'm hoping that I can Terra before Rock goes up, or I can Rapid Spin the rocks away, so I don't actually take that chip. So I think leftovers are important if I'm Carmine and recovering to try to keep my longevity up. And next I have by Rotom. It's a little bit of a defense investment. It'll always live Ice Fang for +1 Gyarados. It'll live with a speed investment, it'll always go before +1 Gyarados too. So that way I could trick it, or I could opt the Foul Play. Foul Play is a good option because no matter what Terra it is, it'll always do significant damage. It'll do a KO if it hits them, and then they Dragon Dance on that hits. It'd be nice. It'll do around 70 or 60 after they do Dragon Dance. It'll do like around 40 to 50 before they Dragon Dance. It'll also hit up Brambleghast for some decent damage because Brambleghast is a physical attacker. Brambleghast will probably be their best actual switch into Rotom though. And if all else fails, I still have my trick option. I can triple that Gyarados and force them into one move. We have no one move that'll actually sweep my whole team, because they're not going to be clicking Waterfall because this could resist it, and of course they're not clicking it versus Rotom. Ice Fang, of course, rolled by Heatran, and this Terra Steel, Articuno, and it's non-stab, so Sylveon probably takes them fairly well, this investment. And Earthquake, so I have two flying types, I have a Levitator. Earthquake won't work versus me. And I'll bring you back when the game starts. This is the team. Hello, and we're back to the battle versus Pancake Boy, and we see a few threats over here. One Gyarados always threatening to sweep us. Mioscrota with its Flower Trick, if it gets predicts right on Heatran, for instance, then it can just bowl me over with its strong knockoffs and Flower Tricks. And we don't have great switch-ins to Gengar other than this Silphus Cyclozar. I assume they might actually Focus Blast predicting either this or Heatran to switch in. So I'm gonna have to make some predicts with this thing with this nasty plot. Bramblecast I don't think will be that much of an issue. Slowking is also pretty passive, but it can pose a threat with its attacks. And Diantha is a bit of a wild card. I expect it just to be more of a rocker though, with defensive capabilities. Here I see no real reason I can't lead off with my first Scarf Rotom mode. They might have their own Scarf me out, so if they leave it to me, I'm gonna switch out. Because they be Scarf, they could U-turn, so I'm just gonna go right into Heatran, turning with the Flame Body. We don't have Moltres, so Earth Power is almost completely free from Landorus, except for the Gyarados, of course. So it's the lead with Rotom. If they lead with Gengar, I think I'm also going to not risk a Scarf. I'm just going to go straight into the Cyclozar. Hopefully I won't get poisoned immediately by a Sludge Bomb. I'm probably going to stay in. I just hope they're not Sash. If we'd Sash Gengar and get a free Nasty Plot, that would suck. Rotom, and we see Gyarados immediately. I don't think this is too much of an issue as immediate lead. I can go ahead and trick it immediately because this is what this Scarf is actually for. I imagine they're actually going to switch out to Brambleghast, so we want to Volt Switch, but if they're Terra Grounds, that'd be a really big issue. They could just straight up set up if they're like Lumberry and they're Terra Dragon, they expect a if they expect me to Will-O-Wisp them. I think foul play is always pretty safe because they'll do a bunch of damage to them, and then if they Dragon Dance, they'll be able to kill them after. And also, it won't use up my Choice Scarf. If they go Bramblegast, foul play, I do a nice 71 to that thing. Probably gonna go diantha here, I would expect. So what I want to do is I want to either go into Sylveon or I want to go into Landorus. So on this they could go Meowscarada. Diantha is more likely. I think I want to make a more aggressive play, go Landorus, and try to get some momentum from that. They go Meow. See if the Choice Banded Meowscarada will actually kill me. Let's go to Choice Bands. Then I will have to find my team right here. I don't have any defensive investments. Landorus, Flower Trick will not kill me if it's Choice Band. It will kill me if it's Adamant's Choice Bands. But I think I'm fine just going for a nice, safe, probably Earth Power to get some damage on this thing. So I don't expect them to actually Flower Trick raw into a Heatran. I think they'll more likely go Slowking, so just want to get the chips so that I can kill it with Crunch potentially afterwards. This could be a throw, but I think even if they stay in and this thing takes damage, it won't die, and they'll be able to scout their move and they'll be still fine. So you turn into a bug type. They do 19%, which means they are not Choice Banded. They raw into Gyarados. I'm just gonna go back into Rotom here. You don't want to take this waterfall with this thing, even to get some damage off. They go for Dragon Dance. I'm still faster. Foul Play will do a bunch. I'll do a KO this actually. Could go for that. I think I'll go for Foul Play. I could trick them by Scarf, but I don't want to do that yet. Foul Play, do 60. Ice Fang, they don't kill me, which is perfect. Foul Play again. And this thing is always... Now it's crippled and it's a Dragon type, so Landorus will always be able to kill this thing. Which is excellent. Good thing they didn't get a crit there. I think Articuno can live, though. I would have to Terra that to kill the Gyarados back. Well, of course, Sylveon can live one. Kill Meow again. Take 24, takes a little bit of damage. I'll put Heatran here. Probably U-turn, but they might low kick. I just want a burn, essentially. If they knock off, that's fine. They knock. My leftovers come off. At this point, I'm just going to get my rocks up. A low kick, 49. No burn. I'm just gonna stay in again. Low kick, burn. No, they are probably protective pads on this thing. So I will just go into Sylveon and then I'll throw off a very strong Hyper Voice. They have no good answers for this Hyper Voice that's going to come out. I could Carmine immediately. So to go Slowking, that's fine. I do 30, they're leftovers. I'm just going to Carmine here. They're also Carmines, that's fine. They're slack off. Just for Hyper Voice. Diantha, they're switching. I'm just gonna take a bunch. 48, yeah. And hopefully we kill this from here, and then we don't have to worry about that thing anymore. Yep. Diantha's gone. We don't have to worry about rocks for my opponents. Gengar's next up. I could just Hyper Voice here. And I will 2 KO this. This thing can't 2 KO me. But I also really don't want to get poisoned because this thing is pretty important at this point. This is taking chip every time. So I could just go into Cyclizar, which I think is what I'm going to do. I might not even have Sludge Bomb. Still, I think I have to go Cyclozar here. I don't want to risk this. This is one of my best defensive answers to, especially the Gyarados now. It beats pretty much everything on their team except this Gengar. So as long as I keep it around, then I'm fine. Yep, he tricks. Sync gets an Assault Vest. And its Choice Scarf is gone. So now I can just knock. Now it loses that Assault Test. Dazzling Gleam crits. 86. Go for another knock. Nice and safe. And because of this Choice Scarf, I'm now faster than this Gengar, which is perfect. He Sex Bramblegast, which is fine because Gengar knows the rocks anyways. Escrota comes in. It's probably Protective Pads. I don't really care about Cyclozar at this point, but its Draco Meteors are looking alright. But I don't exactly have a solution to this. I could sack the Landorus technically, but I think I'll rather just sack this. Yeah, they're not boots, they're not scarf, they're almost certainly protective pads on this mon. Which is fine. I think at this point if I get Articuno on something like Slow King, then I can just win the game. Koda goes for knock. I don't think they can, they're not choice bands. Just give them the charcoal. And yeah, they can't actually kill the Landers with anything. I think going into Landers here is perfectly fine because Gyarados can't hit upon it. I always get a kill here. And they always have to go Slow King after, so I could get some damage, then I could Carmine with Articuno and then just win the game with Terra Blast or Store Power. We combine with Sylveon too. Airchick 39, but this is more of a bulky Meow. Kill that. Gengar dies to rocks. Gyarados comes in. I'm always faster than this. I could Earth Power. Yep. Last up is Slow King. I'll actually just save my differential here. Instead of crunching, I could just go into Sylveon and then Carmine and win. Because that, he has to freeze both this and my Articuno in order to win. Growth Hyper Force 43. Good damage, I'll just keep Hyper Voicing and see if he tries to slack off or not. Oh, okay. Thankfully we win this one 4-0. I was really scared of this Gengar going into it. Luckily it was just Scarf and it wasn't Specs, it didn't blast my Cyclozar. Good game to my opponents. It was a tough matchup for them for sure with the Landorus and the Heatran and all and the Rotom Bow. So, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.